I love The Boys. I thought seasons 1 and 3 were really great, and now I've seen season 4. My overall take is it started out pretty strong. It like meandered in the middle and it was a bit weak in the middle, and then it ended like decently strong. So those are my overall thoughts. I feel like there's an episode in the middle where they're on a farm, and it's basically the whole episode is on that farm, and I was like, this is a bit weird. Why are we taking a detour here and spending a whole episode here? Then after that, a few of the episodes were a bit rocky, but you know what? Take away that stuff, and I think the season was pretty good. Some storylines were more interesting than others, so I have a list of storylines here. Oh boy, there's so many. There's a Homelander slash Barbara slash Sage slash Firecracker. So there's a whole, basically this is Homelander's storyline over season 4. This is obviously the best stuff, okay? When it comes to The Boys, obviously Homelander is the best thing to ever happen to, or ever be in The Boys, and will ever be in The Boys, and every scene with him is basically like a 10 out of 10, and it doesn't get better than a Homelander, so fantastic. There's basically a whole episode where he goes back to the lab where he was raised in, and he's meeting the people who were like in charge of him back in the day, and like even one of them is like calling him John instead of Homelander, and Homelander's like, don't call me John, and he like keeps accidentally slipping up and calling him John, and it's like really funny and scary. This whole like sequence and episode and everything was really good. And then Barbara comes in and is like his mother figure, and isn't afraid of him, and it's good stuff, okay? She's not even phased by Homelander, so we love it. But all that stuff with Homelander and Barbara is really good. The Sage stuff with Homelander's okay. The issue is that Sage is a smart character, right? She's meant to be portrayed as though she's like super smart. She's the smartest person on Earth. And if you'd believed in the show, then it would have been really good. Because it turns out at the end, like, okay, basically throughout this entire season, she kind of wavers and makes a bunch of like dumb mistakes, and you're like, oh, if she's meant to be the smartest person on Earth, why is she making these mistakes? The show must be bad, and they're like, the writing is bad in the show. But then at the end, in the final episode, you find out they weren't dumb mistakes. They were like intentional dumb mistakes, and she was not dumb, I guess, but intentional like things she was doing as part of her grander plan to kind of achieve the power she wanted. But I didn't trust the show enough, so throughout the whole season, when she's making really dumb mistakes, I'm like, God damn it, this is annoying. She's meant to be the smartest, why isn't she? So I don't know. I don't know if that's an issue with me or the show, but that's something that happened with the Sage storyline. But she was generally pretty good, okay? And I'm excited to see where she goes next season now that she has basically Homelander's trust, because she is the only reason that he still is able to accomplish his dreams, basically. So I'm interested in that. The Homelander Firecracker stuff was good. I don't know. I don't really have strong thoughts on it. She's what equivalent would she be? Kind of like the Alex Jones, like has a show and is spewing like crazy conspiracy theories and stuff. And she wants to win over Homelander by offering him breast milk and stuff. I don't know. She's okay. She was a good intro. Like I'm glad that she's a character now in the show, but I don't have that many strong thoughts on her storyline or anything. Oh, I guess also in this Homelander stuff, there's a few episodes after he goes back to his, not orphanage, but the lab that he was raised in. After that, he's like dealt with his trauma or whatever, and he tries to be a supportive dad to Ryan. And it's like, this is like the ultimate fear for the world, because if he actually did stick to this and was a supportive dad, he could have molded Ryan to actually be his protege. And it was scary for a bit. And it was interesting seeing Ryan kind of happy that Homelander is like listening to him now and is being a better dad, but obviously it didn't pan out that way, and Homelander went back to his old ways like Sage said he would. For a few episodes there, it was kind of cool. It was like, oh my gosh, Homelander's being supportive, but also at the same time it's kind of scary because Ryan's listening to him more now. So yeah, that's the Homelander storyline. Then we have the Hughie storyline with his mum and dad, and his dad is in hospital, and his mum, who like got divorced or abandoned him or something when he was 6 years old, has come back and is like trying to fix his dad with like supplements or something. And oh my gosh, this was great as well. I think the casting for the mum was really good. She felt very much like not an overbearing mother, but like a very highly strung, annoying kind of mother, which was great. And like her just being there for Hughie, but also never really explaining herself or anything was kind of cool. But I don't know. I just generally overall, I don't really have strong thoughts on this season, but the dad stuff was kind of cool. Him getting superpowers, but not quite being in control and losing his memory and having dementia and all that. That was cool. And the fact that Hughie has to kind of learn to let him go. And it's like, he gives the example of how when he was a kid, Hughie had a dog called Jar Jar or something, and he wouldn't let him die. And because of that, Jar Jar suffered in the end. And now he's doing the same thing to his dad. But at the end of this like little arc, he was like, you know what? I think I understand what it means to let go. And it's like a whole nice, cute little story. So I don't know, it was good. I like the Hughie mom-dad storyline. But then we have the anxiety/A-Train storyline. This was also pretty good. I love MM as a character. He's the most grounded character, I guess, in the show. I guess Hughie is somewhat grounded, but also is a bit psychotic at times. But is kind of like he just wants to get out of all of this. Okay, he's done. Okay, but he can't because he's so important. The CIA values him too highly. I don't know, he has anxiety, but I don't know. It's crazy. I like this storyline. A-Train is also good in this. This is finally the moment we've all been waiting for across all these multiple seasons where A-Train finally becomes a good guy and is like, you know what? This one kid, he saw me actually do a good deed, and now I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to go do good deeds and all that. And it was good. Okay, we like A-Train now. The Deep has a storyline with like people respecting him, and I guess people not respecting him is kind of the conclusion it came to at the end of this. And he's becoming a bit more unhinged and crazy, and it doesn't really lead to anything besides him just becoming more evil, I guess, toward the end of this, or more maleficent or malicious, I guess. Now it just feels like it's leading towards some grander thing next season, I guess. But it was fun. Like the scene with him. I mean, the best scene with the Deep in this season was when the octopus was like dying. He like trapped it in the cupboard, and it's like a really slow scene that goes for like 2 minutes when the octopus is slowly dying and is like, please, babe, help me, save me. And then you have silence, and you think the octopus is dead, and then he comes back and says, oh God, please help me. And I'm like, that was great, cute scene. What else? The Frenchie storyline, who suddenly had a love interest introduced in Colin, and a storyline where maybe this was seeded earlier and I just don't remember it, but basically, Frenchie was feeling deep regret for having killed his boyfriend's family when he was younger. And he sends himself to jail. And then he like gets broken out of jail randomly. And this is terrible. This is the worst thing The Boys has ever done by far. It was so bad that I skipped through scenes by pressing the like plus 10 seconds forward button. It came out of nowhere. I had no interest in it. It wrapped up suddenly and he was in jail, then he wasn't. And I was like, man, this is terrible. I don't know how someone wrote something this bad. So yeah, that's my take on that. Starlight also has a storyline with she was outed for having an abortion, and she has to deal with the fact that when she was younger, she made mistakes and she was a ruthless pageant show participant. And she has a whole mental storyline about how she doesn't have confidence in herself, so her powers aren't mentally working. And it was, I don't know, it was a bit annoying, but it didn't bother me that much. A bit of a strange season for Starlight, I would say. But then there's also the final storyline I've actually got here. And I'm sure there's many others, but I don't remember them that well. There was the William or Billy Butcher having cancer. Or I guess it's cancer. I don't know if they ever said he was outright cancer, but it's basically how he has a split personality over this season. There's him, and then there's Kessler, who's like the imaginary voice in his head. And it's him like struggling on whether he's going to be a good person or a bad person, and trying to like help Ryan or kill Ryan or like manipulate Ryan. And this was kind of interesting throughout the season. Now, obviously we've done this for the entire season, like all 3 seasons basically deal with a storyline like this when it comes to Butcher. The interesting thing about this season is the fact that it ends unambiguously with William choosing the bad side. Like he becomes a bad person at the end. He ruins their one chance of like, I guess, maintaining civility in the world by killing Victoria Newman. It was sick. I was like, oh, good. Look at this. A nice subversion at the end of the season. So I like that. What else is there? So that's some of my storyline stuff. Then I have like a bunch of just miscellaneous stuff. The final fight scene against the shapeshifter was really weird. Hughie basically realizes that, oh my gosh, this isn't Starlight. It's a shapeshifter. And then he doesn't tell anyone immediately. And it's like played off as a joke. And the whole fight is basically like a joke. And I don't know. It's weird, annoying and weird. I didn't like that final fight. The final montage at the end of the final episode was really cool. It's very much an Empire Strikes Back ending where it's like, oh my gosh, the heroes are at their lowest point now. How are they going to come back from this? So that was cool. Himiko, whatever her name is, Kimiko, yelling no for the first time, and we hear her voice. Oh my gosh, crazy. That was really cool. And I said this would be a cool ending to the show, like an actual ending, like a sad and failure. Like the Boys universe, if it just ended here, I'd be like, oh, that was really cool. Homelander becomes president, declares martial law, the boys have failed, and this is the end. So that would be really cool. But no, we're getting another season. Oh my gosh, what else? Homelander accidentally cutting the ice skater lady in half and then leading to panicking that kills everyone. That was really cool. Also, throughout this entire season, there's like a mystery that you don't quite know is a mystery, which is that the person that Butcher is talking to in his head, which you don't know is in his head, is Kessler. And it just looks like a normal person. And it turns out that it is in his head, and it's like not actually a person there. And I never realized this until the one episode before it got revealed, where Eric from Blind Wave figured it out and ruined it for me. I was like, God damn it. Couldn't he just wait like one more episode to figure it out? But no, he ruined it for me. And my big surprise at finding out that revelation was when I was watching the reaction video and not in the episode itself. So yeah, we hate reaction videos now. Starlight has a line where basically Starlight in one episode, she's like FaceTiming or like Zooming with her mum, and her mum is like saying, you're Starlight, or whatever. And then Starlight is like, I'm a person. And then she like goes on to say something else. Like this would have been the perfect opportunity to say, I'm a person and my name is Annie. Because it's like a Star Wars reference and it sounds like Anakin. And that's literally what Anakin says. And I was like, I thought they were going to do it, but they didn't do it. Like, God damn it, it would have been so perfect. Ashley, her outfits are absolutely insane. Every time she's on screen, it's like a different outfit and it's like the fanciest stuff ever. And it's really funny and cool. So we like Ashley here. The scene with the octopus dying we talked about. Homelander crying because he finds out that A-Train was the leak and is actually so sad about it because he actually valued Homelander, A-Train as a friend is really funny. Sage having off-screen sex with Black Noir without a lobotomy was also a great funny reveal. Ties in with like the deep inadequacy feelings and stuff. That was really good. The Shifter talking. Yeah, the Shifter is kind of interesting in this. They have a monologue where they talk about how they've taken over so many people's minds, and they always get a feeling from all these different people that everyone is justified in their, like, they always feel justified in their actions, which is kind of interesting. Like, if you've been in so many people's bodies and they all kind of have that same feeling that they're all like doing the right thing, is, I don't know, it's kind of interesting. The show also, I think I say this every time I talk about The Boys, but the gore in the show is next level. Like, nothing it compares to this. No movie, no show, no nothing. This is the most gory thing I've ever seen, and it is the best visual effects when it comes to gore. So yeah, well, good job, show. We love it. And then the final scene is funny. They say, America will be safe again. And it's obviously a Make America Great Again reference. There's a lot of like references like this. Like, they're talking about, like, actually, I don't know if it's a reference because they talk about Jan 6, right? The January 6th, whatever. Like, that's when the election is being certified. But obviously that's like a date, an important date that's always the same. But I assume that they're also making fun of, or like referring to the fact that Jan 6 was when that insurrection thing happened. But there's like a bunch of things like this at the show. It's a satire, right, of like modern politics and everything. So America will be safe again, says Homelander at the end. So it's sick. And I guess also just for like anyone who's seen House of Cards, it did feel like a very House of Cards season. I don't know what season, the second last season before Kevin Spacey got replaced, where it's like the president has like taken over and he's declaring martial law and he's like looking at the camera when he's delivering his speech, and it felt very much like a House of Cards kind of ending to the season, or I guess Homelander's storyline. But that was it. That was The Boys season 4. Pretty good.